What is up, guys? I've got my Fur Hire deck for you today. This deck is quite good actually, and they got new support recently in the new style Fur Hire, which is amazing. I mean, this deck is a lot stronger than it looks. They can really consistently kind of spam the border field, put out a high negate Appaloosa along with their link, which is quite unique when you think about it, the fact that they can just spam summons like this. I also think it's a really good deck to start with to learn. So if you've got a friend who is learning Yu-Gi-Oh and you want to just teach them about the basics of things like link summoning and such, this is definitely a good deck to go into because it is very simple. But anyway, let's go into it. We're going to start off with their new card, then I'll go over the Fur Hire cards just for you guys who aren't familiar with them. So you've got new style Fur Hire. You contribute one monster, special summon one monster Fur Hire from your hand or deck whose level is one higher or one lower than contributing monsters. You can only activate one per turn, and you can't declare attacks the turn you activate this card except with monsters Fur Hire. So yeah, it's a really nice card. This helps mitigate a bit of the issue where they're very reliant on the first kind of normal summon of a Fur Hire monster. So it's like if you lose one Fur Hire monster, well, it doesn't matter. As long as you've got something else in your hand to extend, you should be fine. It also means that you don't necessarily have to, weirdly enough, if you look at this card, you would think, oh, it locks me into Fur Hires. But if anything else, I would say this actually makes it a lot easier to play non-Fur Hire monsters in your deck, because now, for example, if you play Dangers, or you contribute one of the Dangers and make them a Fur Hire monster, whereas before you couldn't do that. So I'd say this card, even though it has that weird restriction, it makes this deck a lot less xenophobic, which is always good. We don't like decks that force us to only play that archetype and that restrict us from playing text. But anyway, let's go into it. So I play 3 Philo Messenger for Hire. Philo is the one that will special summon a Fur Hire monster from your deck, so she is definitely one of the best ones to have. Then I play 1 Donpa Marksman for Hire. Donpa will destroy 1 face-up card on the field. Recon will destroy 1 set card. So with Donpa and Recon, it really comes down to what you're trying to achieve, but in my opinion, I focus more on having 3 Seal for recyclability. So between the 3 Seal and between the Mayhem, which is the Monster Reborn, I don't feel like I need any more than 1 of each of these, which is why I play them both at 1. But I have seen builds that play these at some of these at 2. I saw one build that plays Recon at 3. So see what feels best to you and then let me know in it. That's what I would suggest with those. Play 2 Helma. Helma allows you to discard 1 card and draw 1 card. Again, Helmet is a nice card just for kind of consistency, and that's what I've really gone for this, just the consistency and focusing more on Raphael than the little ones. Then we've got 3 Beat Bladesman for Hire. Beat is nice, firstly because he's your searcher in the deck, secondly because he is also a warrior, which means that he's searchable by reinforcement of the army, which is also great. Then we have Seal Strategist for Hire, which is going to obviously recycle a For Hire monster from your graveyard to your hand. Then I play 1 Bravo, which allows all your Fur Hire monsters to gain 500 attack and defense till the end of the turn. Then the champions, or the big ones anyway, I play 1 Diner, which banishes monsters from your opponent's graveyard up to the numbers of Fur Hire monsters you control. 1 Wiz, which can negate spells or traps and also gains you LP, and 1 Raphael, which negates monsters and will add random cards to your hand, basically, which is really good. So that's kind of the Fur Hire monster lineup. I would definitely say this deck it's very reliant on having kind of like a lot of Fur Hire monsters in your hand. They don't have many kind of 1 or 2 card combos. It's more about those kind of 3.5 card combos. But the deck has so many ways to gain advantage, and if you have 4 Fur Hire monsters in your hand, you can get all 4 out, which is really great because they all special summon each other. So even though it does require a high amount of combos, it's very easily to get into those combos. You're not restricted heavily, which is why even though I'm not playing Danger, you can get away without playing things like Dangers and stuff in this deck, just because as long as that first normal summon goes through, you are fine and you can extend really well. Then we'll move on to the Fur Hire spells and traps. Today we have 3 Mayhem for Hire. Mayhem is basically a quick play Monster Reborn. It's an amazing spell or trap, amazing spell for archetype to have, which we like it. 3 of the new style, obviously. 1 Fandora the Flying Fortress. In all honesty, this is a terrible card, to be honest. I don't even know why I'm playing it at 1. I think the only advantage of this is just because occasionally you can resolve its effect to destroy all cards your opponent controls, but in actuality this is probably a really terrible sort. There's just very rare. It's nice that you can add a Fur Hire monster during your draw phase, but the problem with that obviously is that you're going to activate this, it has to survive the entire turn, and then on that turn you can add a monster to your hand. I mean, yeah, it's useless. There's better cards to play. And then one Training for Hire, which is a really good card. If a monster for hire you control is destroyed by battle card effect, you can special summon a for hire from your deck whose level is lower than that target's original level. So this is nice, just to kind of swoop down into levels when one of your for hires is destroyed. And we'll move on to some of the tech cards. So obviously 3 Called by the Grave, because this deck is quite vulnerable to hand chips, and like I say, that first summon you need it to go through. If you're Gammed or Ashed or something, well, Gammed you doesn't call by wait stop Gammed, but if you're Ashed or something on the first summon, you will be quite screwed. So it's nice to have those 3 Called by. 1 Monster Reborn again, just so that we can extend. Reasoning for a free summon, 1 for 1 free summon, and it will bring up Philo, which is an amazing monster for this deck. And then I'm going to be playing 3 There Can Be Only One. This deck was made for There Can Be Only One because all of her monsters are pretty much different types. I think they only have the only ones that are the same types. I think it's like Philo and one of the high level ones, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. Or it's not Philo, sorry, it's Seal. Sorry, Seal and or Philo and I don't know. I'm saying all the names. I don't know. But anyway, there's only like 2 that are the same types, which means they can get away without playing There Can Be Only One, which is wonderful. So that is a really, really good trap for this archetype. So then let's move into that extra deck. So I play 2 Folgo, Justice for Hire. Their Link monster is so good. The thing is, it can generate you huge amounts of advantage if you do have multiple Fur Hires on the field. So obviously, the first thing obviously is that it's going to special summon a Fur Hire monster from your deck for free, and then if your opponent's monster is destroyed, you can draw a card, and if you control 3 or more monsters for hire with different names, you draw 2 additional cards. That's insane. So this card can potentially plus you up to 3. It can give you a +3. I mean, that's nuts. Not a +3, sorry, +4. This card is crazy. We really, really like him. But yeah, moving on from that. So I play 1 Relinquished Anima. Very easy to get into Philo, and people don't always take notice of their zone, so Anima is nice. An IP Masquerader with the Nightmare package. This deck doesn't mind discarding too much, so the Nightmare package and Masquerader is obviously going to be quite nice. Blackluster Soldier, very easy to go into, and it is a very good boss monster for any deck. Any deck that needs a kind of generic big boss monster, Blackluster Soldier is always going to be a good one to go with. 1 Appaloosa. Appaloosa is a nice, again, it's very, very easy to kind of get 4 for hires on the field plus Raphael, and then link them all into Appaloosa for 4 negate Appaloosa in this deck, which is wonderful. A Borosword to facilitate OTKs. Dugarez, he can draw you cards, he can facilitate OTKs by boosting attack, so he's just a nice card. He's just a really nice card to have in general. Dweller, Baguska, Tornado, and Gallant. So we like all of these cards. They're all very easy to get to. I like Gallant especially because it can search a 1 copy of Nibiru. That's why I just play that 1 copy, because I thought, why not? 1 copy of Nibiru along with a Gallant, just to put in your hand, just to put that pressure on your opponent that they know if they try and do more than 4 summons, they're going to get whacked in the face with Nibiru. So yeah, that is the extra deck. Now moving on to the side deck, I play 3 Evenly Matched, 3 Imperm, 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Lightning Storm, and 3 Lancia. Really nothing to say about, just kind of your standard going second card. So guys, that is the Fur Hire deck. This is a really, really fun deck to try, and I think I will show you 1 or 2 kind of just standard hands and combos with this deck, so I'll see you all soon. So here's a kind of good hand that we've got. So we're going to start off with that Beat summon. Beat is one of the best ones to start off with, just because you want to get his search effect live as soon as possible. That's going to go into Philo, which is going to activate Beat. Beat is going to search Seal, because Seal is going to be a nice one to have. Then I'm going to use Philo to search, to special summon the Seal, and then Seal to special summon the Raphael, and then go into my Link monster. So here I have Raphael summon, gone into my Link monster. I'm not going to use, I am going to use Raphael's effect. So I've got 4 different Fur Hire monsters. I get to excavate 4 cards and add 1 to my hand. I mean, that's an insane effect. So I get to add, let's say I'm going to add the new style Fur Hire to my hand. And then from here, the best thing to do is to go into Folgo, so I can activate that Philo. So let's go into Folgo, Justice for Hire. These 3 are going to go to the graveyard. And then I'm going to get this Chain Link too. And this is what's really great as well, because obviously I'm going to get to add 1 back from Philo, but Folgo is also going to special summon a Raphael from, or special summon a Wiz from my deck. So now I have a Spell and Trap negate, and I have a Monster negate. So I've special summoned that, and let's get the Wiz out. And yeah, that is a really good hand. And then obviously Wiz, when she special summons, she's going to gain me a lot of LP. So as you can see here, I mean, just the standard hand, from 2 cards I've gone into 4. I've also got a There Can Be Only One in my hand, and obviously I'm not affected by that at all. Folgo is going to draw me cards if I destroy my opponent's cards. Wiz is going to negate spells and traps. Raphael is going to negate monsters. So I mean, it's just in general a really, really kind of a nice spread of effects and monsters. And if I wanted to for example, I could go into a Masquerader instead here if I didn't really think I needed one of my negates. I could go into that instead and disrupt my opponent with that. But yeah, that is Fur Hires, guys. This is a really fun and very easy deck to play, so definitely recommend this for new players, first time players, or people that are getting back into the game. This is a good one to go with. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and let me know what you want to see next, and I'll talk to you all soon. Peace.